Let me hit you with this first question, Mike. When you are at a church service, maybe you and your wife sitting there in a congregation, you're not up on stage, it's a random off weekend, so you're just a parishioner in the crowd.
I love it.
And the band up there chooses a song that you have written or sweated over. Is it difficult at that moment for you to worship because of what you have tied to what they're singing?
It is a little bit, because you're like wondering what they're going to do with it. It's not what happens with it as much as what you're wondering is about to happen with it. But man, what is really overwhelming, no pun intended, is really, though, because it's happened in our church before, and I was sitting there and man, I just started weeping, because I'm like going, man, this came like out of my garage or like my office or whatever in my house. And man, Jesus is using it, out of other people's lips, worshiping him. That's a pretty special thing, man. So I love when that happens, man.
Yeah, something none of us will ever get to experience. So that's cool. You get to watch, like, if you are people watching in that. That's why I was asking. Is like, I think if I wrote that song, there's no way I could enter into 3 minutes of adoration, because I would be people watching everybody.
Dude, I was like, just imagine if you're Chris Tomlin, though. You couldn't go anywhere. It's like you go in there, like every song you like wrote down. Oh yeah, I remember when I wrote that one, and I wrote that one. Or I was over at Jason Ingram's house one day, and we were talking about, like, we were writing stuff, but then I was telling him all about this Matt Redman song. I was like, dude, there's this song. It's called Holy. It's so awesome. I stayed up so. He's got this smirk on his face. I'm like, you wrote it with him, didn't you? And he kind of like, yeah. It's like I was telling him all about his song.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the info. I had this moment the other day, Mike, where I finished a longer run. I went for a run. I was cooling down. I don't run far, but I got it in for weight loss purposes.
Come on, you're doing it.
And so as I'm cooling down, I look at my phone to see, how slow was that run, and it said I cannot access the phone because I'm driving. And I laughed to myself, like, my phone thinks that I was driving during that run.
Dude, you were hauling, man. Come on, dude. But you're a machine, Jayar.
I was by myself, and I laughed out loud over something. Like, is there ever a moment in your day where you find yourself laughing alone at the stupidest things? And if nothing comes to mind, we can move on. I just wanted to present.
Dude, it has to be something with my kids, though. You know what I mean? I would love to think of an instance, because it would crack everybody up then, because they're just absolutely genius. And I'm telling you, they come up with some of the things I hear, and a lot of them are in conversations like with their mom. Candace homeschools our kids, and so I hear these conversations go down. I hear these petitions and these arguments come from the other room about how they're talking their way out of certain things or whatever, and that's the kind of stuff that I laugh out loud about when nobody's around.
Oh, they're like it's a little comedy factory, and I think that helps me more than it helps you, because it's tough to write songs for a new Big Daddy Weave album that have to do with potty training, But for me, it's all gold for the radio.
It's beautiful.
I can sit with a notepad and just stare all day at what's going on, and it's just it's all feeding the mortgage at that point.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's beautiful. That's real life there. I love it.
Let's go into the second sampling of the new album. New album comes out next Friday from Big Daddy Weave. We've already played one of them. Let's go into a slower one this time.
Yes.
What's the one you want to walk us up?
Man, the song's called I Know. And after the season we're through, the season with my brother's health, man, my dad passed away the very next year. My mom got a cancer diagnosis the year after that. Ooh. It was just like bang, 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 these things. And it rocked me, because it came out of a season where we're seeing nothing but the miraculous, seeing God just do some of the most incredible things. But then we're hit with this season where we're not seeing it for us in that moment. And there's so many things that you don't know in that moment. It makes you question and all kinds of stuff like that. And it dawns on us at one point, look, you can't stand on what you don't know. But there are some things that we do know. And this song was born out of the place. Man, my friend Benji Cowart's an awesome songwriter. Hank Bentley, great songwriter. They sent me this song. They included me kind of on the bridge. It was like it was a nod. But these guys wrote my heart, man. They wrote my guts in this last season. And this is our confession in the middle of a time when we're uncertain. There are some things that we are certain of, and it's born out of this season, man, and these confessions.